So New Zealand came out with an AI strategy. It was the only country in the OECD that didn't have one. And they published one. So this is called Investing with Confidence, which is really ironic because it doesn't talk about any investment and it doesn't give people a lot of confidence. It's 20 pages. Okay, 22 with the back cover. And I'm going to share with you why this is a mess. It's written by Dr. Reti, who is known for not having good thinking from first principles. I'm going to download this PDF to my desktop, and then I'm going to give it to ChatGPT and talk to them about it. Now, when he announced it, he said AI could add 76 billion to our GDP by 2038. We must develop stronger Kiwi AI capabilities to drive economic growth. And this strategy sends a strong signal that New Zealand supports the uptake of AI. But really, pretty much all that this document says is, yeah, go do it. We support you. We're not going to get in your way. But there's no announcements of infrastructure development or any other kind of support. Now, there is a disclaimer here. Use of artificial intelligence in this material. MB has used AI to develop aspects of this strategy in line with the Government Chief Digital Officer's Responsible AI Guidance for the Public Service, Gen AI, including with human oversight of any generated material. AI was used for some aspects of content ideation. MB is a signatory of the Algorithm Charter for Aotearoa, a commitment to use algorithms in a fair, ethical, and transparent way. So using AI to write a document like this isn't a problem, because many writers, including myself, now use AI in content ideation. But the depth of thinking in this document it reads like AI slop. And my expectations are very low for Dr. Reti. I've spoken before on my YouTube channel about how he's not very scientifically minded. And so I'm going to come over to ChatGPT and I'm going to get an analysis of this document. I'm going to hit this plus button to add photos and files. And I'm going to go to my desktop where I just downloaded this, the New Zealand AI strategy, Investing with Confidence. And I'm going to ask it to tell me about this document. Because let's say you didn't have the time to read all 20 pages of this. Okay, it's short. It talks about adoption over development. It's not going to be developing things itself, but it's encouraging smart adoption of global AI, basically saying other countries are going faster at this. We're not going to develop our own things. We should be good consumers. They've noted the productivity focus and that the role of the government is to reduce uncertainty, remove legislative barriers, and provide responsible AI guidance. So they basically want to be the referees on the sidelines. They have some stats why New Zealand needs a strategy. Without proactive adoption, New Zealand risks falling behind their peers. But they're not giving any framework for how to adopt or any funds to help businesses adopt and upskill their workforce. It's just saying that there is regulatory uncertainty, so now we're giving some certainty. We're going to be hands off, is what they're saying. They've identified skills gaps in education, training, and workforce upskilling, but done nothing to address those gaps. The role of the government is to make a bridge over those gaps and help people cross them easier. But all they're doing is they're saying, hey, these are there, good luck on bridging those gaps yourself. And so this really shows that it's up to the private sector to do this because the government's not doing anything. They've noticed some case studies with Halter and with Aimer, and there are case studies of how people are using AI, but nothing like really outstanding. They're saying this is the principles that the OECD uses and we're gonna follow along, because New Zealanders are great followers. We're putting a $1.2 billion annual investment into Shane Reti's department. How much of that is going to AI and in what mode, they're not saying, but they want to build expertise in AI governance, ethics, and application. The message is to businesses, government supports you. To investors, New Zealand offers stability, skill, and a value-driven market. And to researchers, your work is foundational for prosperity and global leadership. But you know who there's not a message for? The user. the people who are supposed to be adopting this. There's no message, there's no support, there's no funds, there's no investment with confidence. It says here, New Zealand firms are driving AI innovation because the government isn't. And so I've got some options here in ChatGPT of what it can do it can distill it, build a KPI dashboard. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go from model 4.0 to model 03. I'm going to do some advanced reasoning, and I'm going to ask it to compare this strategy to other governmental AI strategies in the OECD and tell me the strengths and weaknesses of New Zealand's AI strategy. Because it's not enough just to get a download of this. I can summarize a PDF, whoop-de-doo. You know, we all have those skills. But the better AI operators are finding more sophisticated ways to use large language models to get deeper insights, to be able to choose which actions really matter. And so this is one of the things that we can do. Now, while it's cooking, I like to hit Command click on a new chat. If you're on a Windows, it's Control click. So I could come over here and do something else. I could upload the same document. I could do a comparison. I'm gonna say, compare this press release, and I'm gonna do Shift. After I paste, I'm going to do Shift Enter to do a new line without sending it. Shift Enter is really useful. With this document, and I'm going to do a link for the document. Look at these. You've got, gosh, digital team. Look at this URL. They're not even using dashes. They're using space. I'm just, whatever. Okay, with this document, and tell me where it falls short. Because he's making some big promises in this press release about, here, we're taking a light touch approach, and the strategy sets out a commitment to create an enabling regulatory environment that gives businesses confidence to invest in the technology. You notice it's the businesses who need to be confident to invest in the technology because the government's not doing it. It's private sector AI adoption and innovation. Shane Reti is just an eternal disappointment. So let's see what this one says. It's giving me two responses here. It's gonna take both of those to load. Oh, I'm still in 03. I forgot to change the model back. So it's gonna take a long time with this. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna stop it because I don't want it to take all that time. And I'm just gonna copy. See how I get this copy button? I'm gonna hit copy, and I'm gonna paste it and do it again in the 4.0 model because 4.0 is just a lot faster. In 03, it thought for 50 seconds, and it looked at the strategic vision and focus. The UK's 10-year plan aims to become a global AI superpower, explicitly funding upstream research and national compute. I've got a comparison table between the dedicated public AI money for New Zealand, UK, Canada, US, and the EU. Weaknesses: no marquee compute asset. Funding quantum lags peers by an order of magnitude. Talks to me about their ethical posture. 43% of New Zealand non-users cite skill shortages. Boy, it'd be nice if they had some AI training. There's some university programs and mentor networks underway. I don't know where that's happening, and so I'm going to go and click on this link. Oh, it just downloads the file. It doesn't get me to the citation. And then some inclusion stuff, some implementation stuff, and a quick scorecard. It gives it a 4 on vision, a 2 on funding and compute, a 3 on regulation, a 2 on talent, a 4 on inclusion, and a 2 on execution KPIs. This is where a lot of people have criticized this policy, is they're not setting any goals. They're just using AI slop. Here's some punchy to-dos they could do if they had some cojones. Okay, so depth versus brevity. It talks about the difference between the press release and the PDF. In the PDF, it says has some granular items, 213 million in tuition and training, 64 million in STEM priorities, and 111 million in youth enrollments. Public sector AI masterclasses and foundational training. I didn't see any of that listed in there. Fails to translate strategy into a timeline, funding, or accountability. There's a lot of stakeholder nuance missing. The public sector example is lost. It highlights that MB used AI in drafting with human oversight, and the press release mentioned responsible AI guidance, but skips the self-application example. There's a bunch of big gaps. I'm really disappointed. A lot of people have mentioned why they're disappointed with this PDF. If you want to practice your ChatGPT skills, you can go and find this PDF, upload it by hitting this plus button in ChatGPT, adding the photos or adding the file, and just ask some questions and see what it gives you. Because learning how to use AI, one of the best things that you can do is synthesize large documents, especially in disappointing documents like this. So hopefully the pushback that they're seeing from the AI community will encourage the government to do something a little more interesting.